This video is all about when you don't need to get an LLC. So why wouldn't you need an LLC? Well, we're gonna go into 7 reasons why it might not be the best time for you to get one just yet. I'm Christina Scalera, and I'm the founder and the attorney behind my online store called The Contract Shop. And this is an online store that sells legal templates to creative and online entrepreneurs like yourself. So welcome, we're so happy to have you here. And let's get into it. These are the 7 things you need to know about whether it's time to form an LLC for you. Now, before we get into the 7 steps, there's something I want to address, just the elephant in the room, if you will, which is a DBA is not an LLC. A DBA stands for doing business as, and it's something you register for locally, sometimes at the state or county or city level. And an LLC, a limited liability company, sometimes called a limited liability corporation, is something that your state that you live in the United States affords you as a privilege as a business owner. And the point of an LLC is to make sure that you keep your business and your personal assets separate in case something happens in either area. We don't want them mixing and then you are just like SOL if someone sued you personally or if they sued your business. So we don't want people to be able to come after your house if, for example, you accidentally ran someone over with your company car. And we also don't want someone to be able to come after your business, as great as it's doing and as many millions of dollars it eventually makes, because you had a kid's pool party and someone stubbed their toe and broke it and now is suing you for whatever. An LLC protects you in that situation, provided that you are treating your LLC like an LLC, and that could also be another great video. So let me know down in the comments if you want to see that one as well. While you're down there, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you are liking this video. It really helps us out here at The Contract Shop to know that you're enjoying this content so that we can continue to make more of it for you. All right, so we covered why you would want an LLC, and now as to why that's different than a DBA. A DBA is not any kind of legal entity. It doesn't give you any kind of protection like in the situations I just described. All it does is let the public know that you are using a different name than your own legal name, you know, your name like Christina Scalera, or your own business name like Christina Scalera Media, like maybe you're using The Contract Shop. Don't use that, that's our trademark. There's a couple signs that you're not quite ready for an LLC yet, so I'm glad you're here watching this video as we walk through them. And the first, most notable sign that you don't need an LLC yet, especially if you're in a more expensive state like Illinois or California, where those can run you $500, $800, something like that respectively, pretty steep, versus where I first registered in Georgia, it was only like $150, so much more affordable there. But we want to be mindful of the fact that if you're not selling anything yet, you really don't need an LLC because, don't take this the wrong way, but you don't have a business yet. You have to actually sell something to have a business. Creating an LLC, putting up a website, those are all great things, but that doesn't actually form a business. The only thing that can form a business is that you have a client or a customer who's making a purchase from you. The second reason you might not form an LLC is you aren't sure if this is a business you're going to pursue. So for example, when I was starting up some side ventures, as one does as an entrepreneur, I tried a couple things out. For example, I tried to teach marketing to attorneys. I thought they would like to learn about how to make money, and it turns out they didn't really give a shit. Now that's changed a little bit. Am I salty about it? Maybe. But it was important because I started something called Ruckus Legal, and that was how I was going to teach attorneys how to make money online by being better marketers on things like Instagram and Pinterest. And while I had a great brand and a website and I was really excited about it, I really thought this thing was going to work, nobody else did because they didn't buy from me. So I had to shut that down, and luckily I didn't have to shut down all the bank accounts and all the LLCs attached to that because there was none, because I was just testing it out as its own website and blog before I went all in and got the LLC and the business bank accounts and all that stuff that I ended up not needing at all. Now compare and contrast that with my other brand. You might be familiar with that YouTube channel. It's at Christina Scalera, and I talk all about digital products there. If you know about that brand, you might know know how it started if you've been following along for a while and you saw me branch that out off of the contract shop. So I only had the contract shop for many, many years. And I just did a workshop, like a webinar on digital products. I was like, is anybody interested in this? I mean, I get questions about it, but does anybody actually want to learn about it? And lo and behold, they did. I sold that out, and then I was able to move on to the next thing. And when I started making money, I knew that that was going to be a validated business idea, and it was also something I was passionate about. So I decided to pursue it as a separate company. So both the contract shop and christinascalera.com, they all have separate contractors, separate bank accounts, separate everything, separate LLCs, and that was a situation where it was warranted that I get a separate LLC. That was a situation where it was warranted that I have a second LLC, and I should have started one. But the Ruckus Legal thing, where it didn't really take off, I never needed to start one, and so I'm glad I didn't. Number 3 is you're just testing what products might stick and what offers you might have. So I told you a little bit about my journey and how that related to where I got LLCs and where I didn't. And so hopefully that was really helpful for you. Now, let's say you have started a business. This 4th thing is important because if you are going to be working with somebody else in, say, like a joint venture or a webinar or as your affiliate or something, then it's important for you to be an official company in order to work with those people. One, because you don't want to just give out your social security number to them, and you don't have to. You can use an employee identification number, sometimes called an EIN, and you can give that out instead of using your social and giving it to some random client or someone you did a thing with one time. And so in order to get that, you'll want to make sure that you're getting an LLC so that it's connected to the EIN, and now you can give that to them. Number 5, maybe you aren't selling products, but you're trying to work with clients and you just keep coming up short and the clients aren't booking with you yet. So again, if you are not making money, you do not need to have an LLC unless you really want one, because there is no business yet. The only way to be in business is to make money. So cash has to be exchanged, and that's a business transaction. If there's no business transactions, there's no business. Please use this to light a little fire under your booty instead of getting discouraged, because we all have to start from somewhere. We all have to have that first sale. And yes, your mom counts. Money is all green when it's in your bank account. Doesn't matter who it came from. All right, so this next one is a little controversial, but I really don't think you need an LLC if you're just working with your best friend or if you're not that visible online yet. An LLC is really going to protect you in the instances where people you don't really know are getting into some kind of quarrel with you, legally speaking, or maybe just a confrontation. Doesn't have to be a full quarrel. If your company isn't very visible, then it's less likely to get sued. But again, if you just want to protect yourself and you're in one of these states where it's a little less expensive to do that, feel free by all means to go get this. You know what your comfort level is as far as risk goes, so you make sure that you are getting the LLC when it's appropriate for you. But if you're not very visible, again, I don't think that it's the best use of money when you're getting your business started. I think a contract is actually a lot more effective, especially if you are going to be working in a service-based business, because you're going to have clients that are a little late to pay you and you need to know what to do in those situations. Or you might have clients that just don't show up to their session and you need to know what to do in those situations. Or you might have clients that disagree about the scope of the work. They think they were owed something that they didn't get. And you need to be able to be protected in that situation. And guess what? An LLC is great, but it doesn't exactly spell out what you need to do in that situation where a client contract, like the ones we sell at the contract shop, does. Finally, number 7, there's a lot of startup costs associated with creating a new company, and you don't have to incur them all at once. So if it just financially isn't in the cards right now to get your LLC, it doesn't need to be a priority in my opinion and my experience. However, as soon as you start to have clients, especially clients that aren't just like your brother or whatever, you need to make sure that you are protecting yourself, and an LLC might be the next best step. Now, there's a lot of other ways for you to protect your business so that you can sleep at night and you don't have anxiety about getting sued, aside from a contract and an LLC, and that is covered elsewhere on this channel. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and we'll be back with more legal know-how for your online and creative businesses. Just let us know, what do you want to hear from us next? I'll see you there.